Hey, welcome to Loose Change. Much better than the book version, I'm telling you. I'm Jim Evans. Thanks for joining us. You'll be so glad you did. We have a very, very special show doing something a little bit different here, as you can see. And you'll want to hang around for our very, very special guest. And we're at that special time of year in terms of sports in our community when people are really geared up, and you know what I'm talking about. And, well, this is always good, but not quite what we're getting into. Not bad either. The Indians are playing well, so they'll keep pumping it for us. LeBron's gone. The Cavs had a great run, but we can always hoop it up, that's for sure. What else? That's not quite in that realm, but that'll work. This was in my lunchbox. Where'd you get this? But not quite it yet, and there we go. Football right around the corner, as is Warren Harding head football coach Steve Arnold. He joins us next right here on Loose Change. Don't go in motion.
Armstrong Telephone is an ordinary service with extraordinary features. Call anywhere in the U.S. and Canada with greater clarity and reliability than cell phone service. Listen to voicemail and manage calling features online. Even get caller ID on TV. Make the switch. Get all your local and long-distance calling from Armstrong Telephone for only $9.95 a month for 6 months. And keep your current number. Plus, the added benefit of free 24/7 local support. Telephone service from Armstrong. One wire, infinite possibilities.
Welcome back to Loose Change. I'm Jim Evans, and I have the great privilege to be joined by one of the area's top coaches, bar none. He is none other than the head coach of the Warren Harding Raiders, Steve Arnold. Coach, good to see you again as always, and thanks for joining us.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me, John.
For those who follow sports in the air, of course, they know a lot about you. But for those who don't, maybe just to give us a refresher, what we like to have our victims or our guests do off the top is just give us a little resume about yourself. You know, where you went to school, we know that, but and how your professional career, coaching career took shape.
Well, I was graduated, 1982 graduate of Warren G. Harding High School. 1986 graduate of Ohio Dominican. At that time, it was college. Now it's university.
Yeah.
Where I was a 3-year starter in basketball, and was able to come home and sort of a dream come true. Start coaching at the lower ranks, and then you kind of work your way up, Jim, from the middle school to the high school, and obviously now as a former head basketball coach for 10 years, and presently head football coach entering year 7.
It's hard to believe it's been 7 years already coming in, but
long time.
It flies by.
And coaching, a total of 31 years.
Wow.
Between an assistant in football and basketball, head coach in basketball and football. It's been 31 years. It'll be a year next year that I would retire from the state of Ohio.
Wow.
I was a liquor investigator for 30 years. So a year next week, it'll be a year that I've been retired.
See, and I thought you were still 35, so.
Yeah, I wish. I wish.
Yeah, me too. Well, you got into basketball, and talk about what you had so many great experiences, as the head coach here. And I had the great privilege to be able to cover a lot of your games on the radio and get down to Columbus. And boy, it was just a lot of good stuff, wasn't it?
Special time, special time. I feel blessed that I've been able to coach some great athletes. I guess a year that stands out is the year that they took the shot, you call it the shot, that we had defeated St. Ed's.
Yeah.
And they counted the basket, and all the media outlets had the ball still in the shooter's hand, and the clock said 0. I thought we would have won a state championship that year.
Yeah.
And everybody that I had kind of come in contact with throughout the state thought we had the best team in the state. And I thought that year we had all the pieces to the puzzle. So that year kind of stands out. And then the following year stands out. I don't think we were as talented. And then we lose Sheldon Brogdon.
Yeah.
We were ranked number 1 in the state at the time.
Yeah.
And we play at Akron St. Vincent St. Mary here, and it's a sellout. And the game goes into overtime, and Sheldon Brogdon tears his ACL. And that year, after that transpired, Desmar Jackson kind of put the team on his back.
I remember that, yeah.
And led us to Columbus. And, so those years stand up. But every year brings on a uniqueness, and every year has a special memory.
And I know you'll echo the sentiments I hear from all the coaches I talk to, certainly at this level. And it is certainly about coaching whatever sport it is, but just as much, if not more, it's working with young people and developing them into young men and into good people, and that's a big theme for everybody.
Well, if you're, we all want to win.
Right.
You're not in this game to lose, but if you're just in it to win, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Wins and losses are going to come and go. It's the development of young people. As long as I've been coaching, I've told players that I've coached, it says, listen, I'll come see you play and all of that, but the biggest thing, reward that I get is when you call me and say, hey, coach, can you come to my graduation? And I'll be there if I can.
Yeah.
That's why I coach, to see young people develop. You see them in 7th and 8th grade, you get them in 9th grade and you start coaching them and you see them develop, you see them sign to go on to college, and then you start following their career, and the next thing you know, and it's funny, I got a text last night from Kalen Campbell, who played at Gannon, played for me here, and at 11:30 last night, he sends me a text, says, Coach, I just graduated, I want to thank you for all you've done, and I'm working up in Warrensville now.
Wow.
So, those are the special moments that you really, why I coach. I can't speak for anyone, but I know a lot of other coaches that probably feel the same way.
What do you think might be the biggest challenges now being a head coach, and certainly you take on the extra perhaps burden with football, or the extra challenge, but have things changed a lot from when you first got going, and certainly as a head coach to this point now?
Yeah. Just in the last 7 years, when I became the head football coach. Even when I started in basketball, and I was hired in 2002, it's the social media.
Yeah, everybody says it.
It's the social media. I have kind of a rule that, our guys can't post all of that crap about Warren football out there. I don't Facebook, I don't Instagram, whatever they call that stuff. I don't even know.
You're not 35.
No. And so, but I have a couple coaches who follow that for me as it relates to our program, and I just won't tolerate, because you try to maintain and contain as much as you can within your program, and as soon as you start doing things on social media, man, it continues to go and go. And I tell our kids all the time, once you hit send, it's out there for the world to see, and you can't retract it.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can say is I'm sorry, but nothing you can do about it now. So to me, that's the biggest change. I think I can speak from coaching in Warren. This is a place that cares about their young people.
Yes.
But athletics is very important here.
Yeah.
So I've coached people now, Jim, who I've coached, now I'm coaching their kid, their son.
Yeah.
So what you have now is that parents, and this is not probably just here,
You're hitting it on the other
they
end.
live through their kid.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
Right.
I can say it because I've seen it. You can't live through your child.
Mm-hmm.
Let your child have his or her own identity. Because you were great here doesn't mean your child is going to be great.
Exactly.
Or if you weren't great, doesn't mean that you just got to pound your son or your daughter because you want them to be something on this field or in that gym that you weren't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And I see all the time firsthand that our young people go through it because they're getting pressure at home because grandma and grandpa, sister, brother, mom, dad, aunt, uncle want them to be someone that they can't be.
Mm-hmm. See, you're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a parent, you're a psychiatrist, you're a PR guy. I mean, you gotta wear a lot of different hats.
What I've come to find out, and I'm here, and I'm only speaking through my experience here, and I mean, what better place? You go to school here and you coach the two most prominent sports.
Yep.
In basketball and football here, and both are known throughout the state.
Absolutely.
Football known nationwide. We've had 33 players play in the NFL.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is.
So, all that being said, is that sometimes there is undue pressure put on these student athletes. And I tell parents this: exert as much time and energy as how you want them to run on this football field or make threes into the classroom.
There you are.
That's about as simplistic as I can possibly get.
Have the kids changed a lot from you mentioned social media, but I mean even just the kids themselves? A lot of coaches tell me not really. They've kind of remained the same over the years. Those have been in the game, quite a while. It's just these other things, these ancillary things that you have to deal with.
Well, because of the social media, and the phones and all this technology stuff. When we were coming up, we played in the backyard.
Right.
Kids don't do that anymore. So, I mean, you're teaching kids, you're trying to teach kids every little thing because they don't play. They don't come up here and play in the field. They don't get together, 15, 20 of them and go play. We had this thing and play, we call it the big field, to play in the big field on the southeast side of Warren. I mean, we would get together and go play. When school was closed because of a cold day, I mean, we bundled up.
Yep.
And man, we went to go play.
We did the same thing.
Kids don't do that now because they can stay at home. Now they play what they call the game. And now you can play against someone and not even be present. I could be, 5 miles away and I'm playing, the game. So that's what it's become.
Do you notice that in their skill level when they get to this point, that maybe because they're not out doing what you did, what I did,
definitely.
When they get to this point?
Yeah, Jim. You can tell that. You see the gift that they have,
right?
The innate gift that they have, but they haven't tried to hone in on that talent because they're too busy at home playing games instead of trying to get better. And then the other part that you have the other extreme, is that you find parents, spending a lot of dollars on a personal trainer. Little Johnny at age 10 doesn't need a personal trainer.
I'm with you.
I see it. I talk to too many college coaches in both sports.
Yeah.
From Coach Urban Meyer, from Jim Harbaugh, Billy Donovan in basketball, Tom Izzo, Thad Matta. I've talked to them all, and this thing, man, it's getting worse because you have AAU basketball, okay, which is out of hand now. The NCAA wants to try to curtail it. Well, it's too late. It's out of hand now. And then now you have the 7-on-7 flag football, which is huge down south and out west because they kind of do it year round. But it's an animal right now. It's an animal.
Really good stuff. We have to take a quick break. We'll do that and be back with more with Coach Steve Arnold right here on Loose Change. Be right back.
Zoom Wi-Fi is the area's fastest and most reliable internet experience. Whether you use the internet for email, streaming video, or gaming, Zoom allows you to choose the service plan that's right for you. And Zoom Wi-Fi makes it easy for everyone in your home to safely and securely surf the web at the same time. You can stream video from anywhere in your home or catch up on your emails from the couch. Call today and we'll help you find the Zoom level that's just right for you. The future is faster with Zoom.
Welcome back to Loose Change. I'm Jim Evans, and again, we continue on with Warren Harding head football coach Steve Arnold. And when they came to you after doing basketball for the 10 years and said, hey, we want you to coach football? What were your thoughts?
I hadn't even thought about doing football.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on a great run in basketball.
Right.
I mean, really had it on the upswing. Mm-hmm. And there were some issues going on with the football program. Right. And they kind of asked me to come in and take over. And I just said, I would, but I kind of needed to do it, kind of my way. And
sure.
Administration has been great. Kids have been great. I kind of, wavered, should I do it, and decided to do it. And and again, it was at a very crucial time for me. I don't want to say crucial, but a kind of an awkward time, because we were really doing well with our basketball program, as you know. I had a couple college offers to go be an assistant.
I had heard that.
Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, do I stay and continue to do basketball here? Do I take the college assistant job? Or do I come here to football? And so there were options for me. And anytime you have a situation like that, you pray on it. I prayed on it, Joe.
Sure.
And talked to some confidants of mine. And one of the things that they told me, and it was pretty consistent, they said, Steve, this is kind of your ministry. And I didn't understand it at that time. What they were, wasn't registering. Mm-hmm. And says, how you've touched basketball, you can do the same in football, but now you're touching more players, more families. So now we're going into year 7. And I didn't, honestly, I didn't think I would be, coaching this long, but I'm enjoying it. It's keeping me young.
Yep.
Being retired now, having more time to hone in on the craft. Jim, didn't have time. I mean, working every day and trying to maintain a quality program. I was back and forth. But now I have the time. I'm spending time watching film and doing a lot of different things that, you need to improve on, or I needed to improve on as a head coach.
As you mentioned how important sports is. We know that in this community, and certainly this whole area, but here, it's expectations are always high.
Yeah.
And no matter what you might feel you have coming back, the expectations are, hey, we're going to have success, and you get that from the community, don't you?
All the time.
Yeah.
And again, I wouldn't have it any other way, because
right.
They care. So that they care. It's important. And so that keeps me going, Jim, to make sure that, I'm coaching to the best of my ability. I'm trying to stay on top, and I'm motivating our young people, and I'm trying to invigorate our community, our fan base. I mean, all of that, goes in to being a head coach here. And, what I was going to tell you earlier is that, coaching, being a head coach, it's 80% of it is social work. 20% is X's and O's. That's from a head coaching perspective. You're talking about managing your staff,
Yep.
managing players. Assistant coaches have egos. Players have egos. Yeah. Managing administration. Keeping the fans engaged.
Yeah.
That's all social work.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The X's and O's, everybody kind of does the same thing, just a variation of it.
Right.
May call a little something different, but man, how do you manage everything to make it, come together in unison? That's always the illustration I always use, Jim, and I use it with our parents, is that, if I'm trying to bake a pie, okay, and I cut that pie in those slices, but those ingredients that I use, those are the players, those different ingredients.
Yeah.
The eggs, the flours, the butter, the sugar, whatever fruit you want to use. I got to make all these ingredients mesh and become the best tasting pie possible. Well, all the parents are concerned with is that slice of pie, which is their child, which is okay.
Yeah.
But that's not my job. Mm-hmm. My job is to make this the best tasting pie team that I can possibly make.
Was that the biggest challenge going from basketball to football, taking on all the extra responsibilities as you've had to do?
To me, that was big for me. In basketball, you can have your thumb on every little thing.
Yeah.
Here, you have to learn to delegate and trust and surround yourself with people who you can trust, and that will kind of, do what you want done, carry out what you want done. That was my biggest adjustment coming from basketball to football. Yeah.
I always hate to use the word pressure, and certainly talking to coaches. So it's like, did you feel maybe, or do you feel maybe a little more extra weight that you carry doing this as compared to being over there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Sure.
different. I think the thing that I've come to find out, football will always be king here, first year.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got 33 guys playing NFL,
Yeah.
But I know when I was doing basketball, basketball had kind of was on the top tier.
Right.
So now, there's a little bit more going on with football. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
But again, I'll go back to I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. The expectations that I try to breed within our staff and our players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We expect to win and we expect to get in the playoffs. That's our expectation.
Give us, if you would, a brief preview of this year's team. Who are some of the can't mention everybody, who are some of the guys we're going to hear a lot about?
Well, obviously everything starts with Kayvon Adams, our running back, who's very special. Has probably 11, 12 offers on the table right now. Tailback, linebacker, special kid. Better young man than he is a football player, and he's a very good football player. It'll start with him. Jared Zillinger, fullback, defensive end, just a tough, hard-nosed kid. Our offensive line, Sean Moore, Evan Morgan, Joaquin McIntosh, Samaje Warfield. Everything's going to kind of start with those guys. Troy Jakubik, our receiver, DB. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. We struggled last year. The year before, obviously we had a great season, and you can't lose 33 seniors and not take a step back. So you couple that with the 33 seniors that we lost, and the injuries, the rash of injuries that we had last year. So we're kind of on the warpath of trying to redeem ourselves here. We're looking forward to this year.
I don't think we have much problem with that. You mentioned Warfield. Obviously, he's of that lineage, of the great Paul Warfield.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
That's great to see or hear. And what can fans expect from the Raiders this year out on the field? Not so much in terms of wins and losses, but I know your teams certainly both on the court and in the field. They play hard, but they play smart, and I would think that'd be the case again this year.
Those are some of the qualities you have to have. I call it a non-negotiable. You're going to play hard, and you're going to play smart. I'm not going to coach you to play hard. That is expected. That is expected in the weight room. That is expected when we condition. So effort is a non-negotiable. You kind of teach them to play smart. Call it having an IQ, a football IQ. Having when I was coaching basketball, a basketball IQ. And some of that, Jim, we talked about earlier in the interview, is getting in the backyard playing. You develop an IQ because you've played in the backyard. So kids don't, like I said, they don't do that anymore. So you try to develop that a little bit. But so any team that I coach, we will play hard, and we will play smart, and we will play in unison. We will play together as a team. Again, you've asked me some basketball questions, but we've had incredible talent over there when I coached basketball. But we always played as a team. Desmar probably could have averaged 30 points a game.
Yeah.
think he averaged 18, but that allowed Sheldon Boardman to average 15.
Sure.
And Fred Williams to average 12. And now, you have success, and you're a shot away from going to Columbus, probably win the state championship, and then the following year you get to Columbus, but because you played as a team.
We only have a couple moments left, but no doubt, as you always do, challenging schedule ahead for you. But that's the way you want it, as you say.
Yeah. Anytime you have a schedule, as we do, you open up with Camp McKinley, and you get Cleveland Rhodes, Massillon, Fitch, Ursuline, Mooney, Boardman, East Highland. That makes your off season that much more focused, because right out of the gate, you have Camp McKinley. Okay, so that sets the tone for your off season. Since January.
Yeah.
Of what? Hey, listen, we don't have time. We got to be ready out the gate. So we're excited.
What message would you send out to fans if you could do that for us for this season?
I would basically say, what, we talk about never again. That's kind of been our little motto this year, coming in the off season, because we were 2-7 last year, and we just said, that's been embedded. Never again will that happen. You're going to see an aggressive style defense, in your face, playing hard, disciplined football, offensively. Guys who can make plays, will take care of the football, not turn the ball over, and a special teams units that will be aggressive.
It'll be fun to
watch. Yes, it'll be fun to watch.
Well, hey, we can't wish you enough luck the upcoming season, and can't thank you enough for your time. And as I mentioned, it's always great to see you. You're such a great guy, and not many coaches have done what he has done, basketball and football.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll have a chance to catch up to you before the season's over. So
thanks. Appreciate you guys having me on your show.
Thanks, Steve. All right, we'll be back to wrap it up here on Loose Change right after this. Well, that's going to do it for our show. Thanks to the great Steve Arnold for his time. Best of luck to the coach and the Raiders this season, all of our local high school football teams. Thanks as always to Greg Roten. Special thoughts going out to Canfield Athletic Director Greg Cooper. We wish him the best. I'm Jim Evans. Thanks as always to Mom and Dad. All right, let's get out of here on this. Run the 6 route. I'm going to try and move the safety. If he doesn't move, slim it off, okay? Set, go. Picked.
Oh, you actually made one?
Hey, got any of that pineapple left? Hey, loose change. I think they might want their quarterback. Alexa, take us out.